What up, party people? We back. Miss Joey will be here in a minute, as always. She has to come in and out because of whenever I play that little clip, some reason it mutes her when she comes on. So we'll get her here soon. Let me get back to. Oh, there she goes. What up, Miss Joey?
How's it going?
Good. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing well.
Good, good,
I
good,
hope
good,
everybody
good.
else is doing well out there.
Oh yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Hello, hello.
I was just
I,
about to address the replay people.
you do it.
So for those who are watching this replay, as always, stay tuned. I appreciate every single one of y'all because when I see the numbers after live stream, I'm like, man, it's a party even after the live stream. We party here, we party after. We're just partying all the time. Was that a song?
I
Anyway,
think so.
thank y'all
Was
so
that
much.
was that like a Miley Cyrus song or something? Was that
I
one
don't
of it?
know. Yeah, I think I don't know. Yeah, So
Yeah.
for those who are watching in the chat, what is up, Miss Joey? Do your thing, please and thank you.
All right. Do your thing. All right. Hello, Mary Page. Looks like she's here on the top of the page. Your first one in, at least on my page tonight. Welcome, Mary. Meow Aquatics, hello and welcome. Larry D, hello and welcome. Anna's Hobbies, hello. Hope you're doing well, Anna. Master Aquatics, Eduardo, hello. Aqua Garden Zen with hashtag mac and cheese. I mean, that's a good
Mac
one.
and
Mac
cheese.
and
I need
cheese,
I
yeah.
need the story behind that because I do like macaroni.
Right. Hustle T King Broadcast and Music, hello and welcome. Matthew Moore Cichlids, hello and welcome. Marie Z, hello, welcome. Jay Olivers, hello, welcome. And I'm trying not to repeat, so I'm reading. Oh, Cylinia, hello, Cylinia, how are you? Welcome. Audra Myers, hello and welcome. Monster Fish Gal, see you got your wrench back, and Larry's got his wrench back. Hello and welcome. Noah's Dolls and Aquatics, hello and welcome. Ray's Aquatics, hello and welcome. And I think I'm at the bottom. So anyway, it's time, people, to smash the like button. Give Rob a thumbs up. Smash the like button.
Yeah. As always, thank you so much, Miss Joey. That's amazing. You did really well. You
I
didn't
did.
you didn't skip a beat. I was like, man,
And Paul McCarthy, hello and welcome.
what is
Huh?
up, everybody? Oh
Stills is
man, we
figuring
got a
it
lot.
out. Nice.
All
Thank you.
right, buddy. So we're gonna get right into it. I got a
Hmm.
couple clips. We kind of went over it a little bit, Miss Joey. So this is still raw for her. She still don't know him all the way. So
He likes the
what up,
surprise.
Lumpy?
Lumpy Dog, hello and
So
welcome.
so she doesn't know anything about these clips. We're gonna go ahead and share
Right.
this. So as always, y'all, I gotta take the comment off, and I can't see y'all on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
What up, Paul?
That is cheap.
All right. Which one do I want to do? I'll save the more interesting one for the last one
Okay.
because that was more interesting. I seen this and I said, okay, 22 small fish for freshwater aquariums. And I don't know. This may be thinking for beginners, maybe even experienced, intermediate. It doesn't matter. I don't know if I'm experienced. I've been doing it for a little bit. I don't know.
That's
But
right.
I'm
How do we
thinking,
know?
what is
Right.
this list? What would be this list, Miss Joey? As you can
Is,
tell from the
is
pictures,
this
right?
so they didn't actually give you a list? You're just saying,
No,
you
they
know.
made this list, I'm guessing.
Okay. So I can't see it. So where is it? Are we
Right here.
supposed to be
This
are
is
we
the first
reading
one.
from the
This is
list?
the first one.
Okay. All right.
Plates.
Platies, yes. Tank
Not only
Aquatics.
just the plates, not regular, Mickey Mouse. Anyone has ever seen a Mickey Mouse platy? They're amazing.
They are. Oh, Lumpy.
So would you agree to a disagree for those who were beginners and intermediate experience? Would you say
Okay.
this is an all-around fish for anyone?
Platies? Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Anyone
because
in the chat? Anyone in the chat? Yes. Yes. You.
I
You.
feel like, yeah, I feel like they're a good choice. They get along really well with most fish. They're not super aggressive. They don't, have crazy water parameter requirements.
So hardy, hardy,
Yeah,
very
they're
hardy.
very
Okay.
hardy. they're prolific, so they're fun. If you want to have some fry and raise them up, they pretty much do it themselves. I think it's a great first fish.
I like that.
I'm pro platies.
Great. I like it. Oh, all right. We can get a little nasty with this one. Guppies. I don't know. We can get a little nasty with this. So I don't want to be like the beta community and get hate mail because I disrespect guppies. I don't want to say nothing too wrong. So you better watch what you're saying, Miss Joey.
Hello, T-Bone. Well, I do not hate guppies. I mean,
Okay.
Guppies are. I still have, one tank of guppies in my house. I have at times had very expensive varieties of guppies. I've had Staic Endlers. I can't even think of some of the other ones. Some of those that are like $100 a trio. I've had them. So I am pro guppies. But like any of these live bears, they're typically pretty easy to keep. They're good first fish. They're fun because they do produce. So I can't really say anything bad about them.
I have a sentence or a phrase that would steer away a lot of people, especially in a sense where they're stressed for tank space or not able to move fry to tank to tank or just can't get many. Guppy tanks are often overran with offspring.
Yes.
So I think that would be if you were trying to put this as a beginner all the way, I kind of look at it as not a all around fish, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm just saying, in my opinion, because of the
so they don't have necessarily. I mean, they tend to have more fry than, let's say, platies.
But they are smaller.
But they're small. But on the other hand, that's very easy to remedy. Get yourself an angelfish. Get yourself a betta. You throw in a couple fish in there with them. They're going to eat some of that fry. They're really going to help keep the numbers down. So, if you just put a trio in and let them go, yes, they're going to overrun the tank. But if you put some fish in there that can kind of help you regulate the numbers, you'll be fine. That's my experience with it. So I just want to say a couple hellos. I think we've had Big E's come in here. Hello.
Let me come back to the stage. What up, y'all?
And Sunfish for Fish, hello, welcome. Tanked Aquatics, hello.
Who doesn't like
Fishbrella
anything?
Corporation, hello.
Wow. For those who are brand new,
you mentioned small, and
you're welcome to the chat.
Craig Broderick, hello, welcome. Welcome. If you're new, welcome to the chat where Rob gets picked on all the time for
even when I don't mean to. Sunfish for Fish, what is up?
And he leads himself in. Sometimes he doesn't even know he's doing it. Opens the door. You love it.
That door stays open.
It does.
Like 7-Eleven. Oh wait, we don't have none of those.
It does. Love it.
Third fish, Zebra Danio. I love my zebras. I love my Zebra Danios.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all of the fish that you brought up so far, in my opinion, are great fish. They, some of them you can keep together, in community tanks better than others. Some can be a little nippy and different things. But, I have kept a couple tanks before that didn't just have Zebra Danios, but they were Danio tanks, and they were fun. And they're active, they're zippy, and of course they're egg spreaders and whatever. So if you don't try to keep the fry, you typically don't get too overrun. So that's a good thing because they'll eat their own eggs and fry.
That's true. That's true too. Yeah.
But I think they're with most fish in the right tank with the right combination, they're great. They're fun. They're active. They do all the things. Terry's Tropicals. Hello, Terry. Welcome.
Okay, so here's another thing with me reading it. I'm sorry for those who can't see it because it is small, probably on that screen.
It's small, yeah. It is. Hello, Stephanie Frederick.
So, they say they don't require that tropical temperatures. So,
No.
And some people don't know what the tropical temperature would be. Um, and they'll go, "Well, what's that?" And I'm like, "Well, tropical means it's very hot, probably. So
Yeah,
they like, cooler water. So
they
some
can.
people they will live longer in a sense because a lot of people say the hotter the water is, the more metabolism, the fish is growing more.
Absolutely.
Their life is a little bit less than what
Yeah.
they would be. So
I
I
would,
mean,
yeah,
that's a good selling point right there.
that is true. You can keep them at room temperature, which I have done. And for me, in my house, room temperature is about 70, 72 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a cooler tank and wouldn't be considered tropical. But
Right.
they do well in that setup. And so you're right. They can be a good fish, if you don't have a heater or anything like that. Daniels are great for that.
You don't want to put you
I
don't want to
would
put more money
say,
into it.
right. I mean, I would say for me, I feel that most of my quote tropicals, I keep them between 78 and 82. If you have something else, there's some, obviously discus and, some of the other fish require a little bit warmer tank than that. But
Mm-hmm.
for me, I feel like 78 to 82 is pretty average for most tropical fish.
Yeah, and may not be some people's mindset, and it's mine. But also, I think with some cold water fish, they're kind of more prone to ick or not able to fight it off because you're already at high temperatures with tropical fish. So if you
Um,
have a cold water fish, they may be able to get ick a little bit more than what a hotter
yeah.
fish would be, a hot fish tank, So I think that's what a lot of people also would may want to consider too if they never thought about that because
They
it's the same
might,
thing if you get a saltwater tank and you're like, oh, they got ick. Salt is what I normally use for ick in saltwater. There's already salt in there.
right. I I
You
think
know, so
I think a lot of it just depends on the overall health of the fish. I mean,
true,
yeah, they're all susceptible to ick if they get
true.
run down. I feel like it's the same idea as us with a cold.
Yes, ma'am.
There's always the cold virus out there all the time, but if you're run down, you're more inclined to get it. And
Okay.
so I feel the same thing, whether it's tropical fish or cold water fish. If something goes wrong in the tank,
Ah.
if you have an ammonia spike or, it's just been a long time since you've done a water change and they just they're not at their optimum of health, I think they're more inclined to get it, whether it's a cold water fish or a tropical. That's how I feel about it.
Equality.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh. Number third, neon tetra. Woo-hoo. I know we got some neon lovers up in here.
Absolutely. I see Sunfish is suggesting the black moor goldfish should take care of those guys. Absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
do eat anything, don't they?
Yeah, you just need something that will eat those babies and you will not be overrun.
So I would also put, I don't know if Cardinals on here, but yeah, okay, so they put it underneath in the blue lining. They said the Cardinal, and this is what they're saying, the Cardinal or the red neon is another various of it. So I would definitely not argue about this one.
What do you, sorry, I missed kind of what you said about them. Like you're pro neons or you're not pro neons or,
No, I love them. Like I love Tetras in general.
yeah.
In my opinion, there's certain ones I wouldn't suggest for some beginners that I wouldn't say they're overall a fish for anyone like at any skill level.
Yeah,
But these for sure, yes.
okay, so you're pro neons. I'm a little bit mixed. I feel like they're not always the best beginner fish. They're sold as beginner fish, but
No.
I think people tend to have trouble with them, especially if they're new fish keepers. They can. I think if they get in a tank and they settle in and they love it, they're good.
If it's
But
an
if they,
established tank,
yeah,
right?
but if they get into
Established.
a tank and they're not happy with something, I think things start to go downhill and you struggle. And most of the time, people end up with one neon when they're done.
You just literally said everything that happened to me when I got them.
Okay, and that's what happens. I mean, and
You
so
literally
I
said
think,
everything that happened.
I think they're beautiful and they're priced right for most people to come in. And I
Mhm.
mean, they're gorgeous fish. They
Mhm.
are. But I
Yeah.
think people tend to struggle with them. So it wouldn't be one of my top choices to suggest to somebody.
Yeah.
That,
When I seen them at a grocery store, the video was amazing. When I did the
oh,
grocery store tour
oh,
of fish
yeah.
tanks, and they had neon tetras for $1 each. I was like, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
I was like, maybe, maybe not, but I'm like, I know the outcome and the ending of that. Just whatever you just said. I was like, man, she said it because I had a group of about 7 of them, and it
Mm-hmm.
seemed like every single one. Once everyone like one would pass, another one, and it was just like a
Right.
chain reaction. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on here? No other fish was dying. It was just those.
Right. And that's why I don't suggest them as a really truly a beginner fish. Like you said, if the tank's really established and things are going well, then try them. There's nothing any more beautiful than like 30 neon tetras in a tank, but it doesn't always work, you know.
Right,
So,
right.
all right, I see. Oh, Diego Petsonic's
Don,
here.
no,
Don
you
Gallagher's
Don,
here.
Don, you
Welcome.
lost your range. No, you didn't.
Fish Keep in Jamaica. Riley's in here. Hello and welcome.
Riley!
If anybody else showed up, I'm sorry. Just obviously talking and
Sorry,
trying.
y'all. Sorry. We're just trying to give y'all a little content and get y'all juices flowing for some videos or whatever, or some memes. Like Rob doesn't know what he's talking about, but he just sounds funny. Let's talk about him. So appreciate y'all for being here. Let's go back to the list.
Yeah. So if we're on the checklist, I'm no on the neons.
No, this is yeah. You said every single fish so far, but the neon. So
Yeah.
I did a video on the white clouds. In certain places, some people are allowed to or not allowed to have them.
Correct.
But I love the white cloud minnows. Like
Oh
when I
yeah.
first discovered them, I wanted every variety, every single one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they are great fish.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, a colder water fish.
Oh yeah.
They can. I mean, as well as with the Daniels, is that they can take some warmer temperatures, but I would tend to agree with you that they thrive more in the 70-ish degree
Mm-hmm.
water.
Mm-hmm.
They're just beautiful, and I don't know if you've ever owned any of the longfin variety, but gorgeous. And
Right.
also, an egg spreader, and so you can encourage that as much as you want or not, but they will breed for you, and you'd be surprised, what you'll get, and they're just great fish. I can't say anything bad about them.
So Miss Joey, I know there's a 30-second delay. I look on here and I'm like, man, it looks like I'm looking at something I shouldn't be because I'm looking down at my phone. So I'm showing y'all I'm looking at my phone, y'all. I'm not doing nothing weird or anything.
Uh, hi, Sarah Cyber, welcome.
I was just making sure y'all know my phone's down here. So when y'all see that I'm up close and looking down, my phone's here. Okay, just let y'all know.
And Merrick, hello and welcome.
Just let y'all know.
Okay, so Rob's not being weird. Okay.
I'm not being a perv. So you're yes on the white cloud minnows?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
I love them. I love them. There's nothing you cannot say anything about them, honestly.
Yeah. No, they're
For those who are in
great.
the chat, yes, no, maybe so. I love them.
Yeah.
They're not
No,
aggressive at all. I mean, I've had one where he was like always just, hitting another one or here or there, but it wasn't like a full on attack on every single one of them where he was like trying to be a tank
no.
boss. They were
They can,
living.
yeah. They
They were
tend to
living
fight,
nice.
fight
Yeah.
amongst themselves, and I don't really call it fighting, but they ping on each other, and sure, but
Yeah.
not
Almost
like
like Daniels. Like
yeah,
Daniels.
exactly. They don't go into a corner and go full on attack, and
Yeah.
they're
Has
just
the tank all the
constantly
way
like,
over here.
yeah, they just say, oh, bim,
Right.
Oh,
Oh, now I'm on to
you
the
and
next
your-
one.
right. But
Okay,
still,
so
really
yes
great.
on it. Yes on it. Like,
Yeah, new local Austin. Hello and welcome.
what up, Austin? Uh-oh. Harlequin Rasbora.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had any. I've seen them.
I
I
have
can't say
had them.
I can't say from experience.
Yeah.
For the most part, I've
Um,
had almost all of the ones that we've, went through. These, no, but I
yeah.
can say maybe.
I, I haven't kept them a lot.
Okay.
My experience with them when I had them was, I mean, it was good. They were fairly easy to keep. They, it wasn't
Right.
anything crazy. They weren't super aggressive. They were, they seemed to get along. I mean, raspberries in general, I feel have pretty good health.
Okay.
So I think they're beautiful. Like I said, I've only had them like, once or twice. I used to sell raspberries, but as far as keeping them in my personal care at home, I've
No.
only had them like, maybe once over the past 10 or
Yeah.
15 years. And again, beautiful. I don't think there's anything super crazy about them as far as, special tricks to keep them, you
Okay.
know. I think they would be a pretty good fish,
I mean,
you know.
as I'm
Hello,
seeing from
3D.
this picture, it seems like they're very small. The gravel is just as big as they
Well,
are.
they are. But
So that
that's the
seems like
thing.
they're very peaceful.
I think they're not much different than maybe the neon size or whatever. They're all pretty small fish. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the next one is this one. Like I said, I didn't really go through this list either. I was just like, let me flip through it. I didn't see this. A Serpe Tetra.
Yeah. Again,
I wouldn't say this is an all-around fish
yeah. I mean,
at all,
it's a little larger than
and more
than
aggressive than
yeah,
some people think. In my
yeah.
opinion, I had
I think
about a group of four.
yeah. I think you start getting into some of these larger tetras, and um, like you said, they're a little bigger fish, a little bigger mouth. They are. I wouldn't call them aggressive, but they're sort of like on the hunt all the time, and they're looking for anything. And so I feel like if you were trying to keep those with guppies or something, it might be hit or miss. You know what I mean? They might nip at the fins and things like that. So I think you could keep them. Certainly, you just have to be careful what you keep some of these things with. You know,
There we go.
um,
There we go.
you know, probably wouldn't put them in with my guppies. I wouldn't. And then there's going to be other people that are going to say, "Oh, hey, I had them with guppies for 5 years." And they were great. You know. But I mean, if I was recommending it to somebody, I don't think I would do that because I'd be afraid, like if you had guppies or bettas or something, that they'd be nippy at them. So,
Yeah.
again, if you want to do like an all, mixed Tetra tank and stuff, that's great. But, I don't know if we're talking, all community fish or just what these fish are. I mean, if you did a
Right.
Serpe Tetra tank, I mean, amazing.
That would
Yeah.
be beautiful. All
Yeah.
black. Yeah, all
Yeah.
black tank, blacked out, everything black.
It,
Just
it would be
nothing
beautiful.
of color but them.
Yeah. So you just gotta, a lot of these are great fish. You just gotta be careful what you put them with.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
You know.
I love the Serpe Tetras. Especially the more color on them, the better. Because they can get really red. Like I said, I had four. And one I think was maybe a female, maybe not, maybe a subdominant, but they were all just so cherry red, like
Oh yeah.
beautiful. So I really love the splash of color they would add to a planet tank or an all just dark tank. I think they are very vibrant and they are somewhat of a schooling fish. I would say shoaling because they'll stay in
Yeah, I was
a
just gonna
knitted
say.
area. They'll stay
Yep.
within the little ranks and
Yeah.
the channels of where they are, but I don't really necessarily say they would be active around the tank, like just looking everywhere. They stay in one area and move together. So I would like
Stay as
them.
a group. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think
like them.
I think with most of these small fish we're talking about, though, if you can have a larger group, they're happier and less squabbling. They still squabble, but at least the same one doesn't get picked on every time it swims by, and they just feel more comfortable in groups, typically.
I'm gonna get canceled for this one.
Ugh.
I'm gonna get canceled for this one. I'm not a Corridora fan
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
I like them when I had them. I just could never really feed them because the fish that I kept with them
Kept eating the food.
kept eating the food,
Yeah, you
regardless of
can't
how
get
much
it.
I
You
put in
can't get
there.
it to the bottom,
I
right?
couldn't get it to the bottom, and I
Yeah,
think that was my major problem
yeah,
growing with them because, like you said, you have to. First off, when you're just getting into any kind of fish, you're gonna have to have the growing pains of knowing what they can have and contend with as far as what's in the tank. So I think that's what it was with my issue is saying I'm not a fan now. Not to say I wouldn't be a fan if I got some and had a tank where there weren't aggressive fish and they would actually eat. Um,
yeah.
but I
Well,
wouldn't say they're all around a beginner fish or any of that because I just, in my opinion, I was like, no, never again, corridors.
well, corridors in general, I do feel are great fish.
Hmm.
I only have one tank that I keep any in because I breed fish, and you don't keep catfish bottom feeders in with fish typically that you're breeding. I don't.
Free dinner.
Um, but I do exactly. But I do think they are, wonderful fish, and if you can get them in a situation where you can feed them, they are great, and they're cute, and they just have cute, the way they go down and get in that gravel and go around, and they're just busy. They're truly cute fish, but for me, they don't work because of my breeding tanks. So, like I said, I just have one sort of community tank, and I have four in there.
See, four. See, I had like seven of them one time. I ended up sending them over to Roberto at RLC, and I was like, "Yo, get them. I don't know what to do with them." Um,
Yeah.
and as soon as he got
But
them, he bred them.
I think the other thing is, I mean, we're just kind of all over the place in what we're talking about. But
We
I mean,
are sorry, y'all.
if you truly had a brand new tank that you set up this week, I wouldn't say run right out and get
Of
Cory
course.
Cat. I'd wait until the tank got a little bit more established. It's like, it's kind of like I just set up a tank today and I put a snail in. It's like, well, there's nothing in there for it to eat, or a Plecostomus. I brought home Plecostomus and I set up a brand new tank 3 days ago. So I think some of those fish are fish that you might want to wait on a little bit to add, but great fish.
Okay, good to go. Yeah, I think that that's a solid information right there for some people who are like hesitant, like, oh, they're so cute, but can I
Well, they're
keep them?
wicked cute. Yeah.
Yeah, can I keep them?
Hmm.
Oh, glow light tetras. I'm tetra. Like I would get a tattoo of a tetra on my back. Okay, because it's small enough. It's small enough for the back.
That's funny.
Oh,
Now,
why did I do that to myself? I joke. I joke.
Now, see, I do feel glow light tetras are much easier to keep than neon tetras, and
Yep.
they're beautiful. You
Yeah.
get 10 or 20 of those in a tank, and like you said, you get the lighting right and the right color
Yes.
combos going, and legit, they light up. They
There's
look
literally a line that goes from here to
yeah,
here,
yes,
and it is a glow. It is
yeah,
beautiful right here.
absolutely. So I do think those are good fish.
Yeah. I
Absolutely,
I, I have I have
more of a beginner
nothing
fish.
against
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
And see, they even specify and has not been genetically engineered because the glow light tetra, some people don't know there is actually glow light tetras, like they actually are glowing because they've done something to them.
Well, there's glow tetras, and
Yeah,
then
the
these are
glow.
glow light tetras.
They're
Yeah,
not this one, yeah. So
right,
they're like, oh, so if these are the glow light tetras, they're like, oh, these are this one. I'm like, no, 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 no. These
right.
are
Glow light
the ones
tetras
that light. Yeah.
are natural species. Yeah,
Yeah, this is not the one that you're thinking. They're like, oh,
right,
I want those instead of those. I'm like,
right.
okay, well, I see what you're saying.
And to
Um,
each their own. If people
yeah,
want to buy glowfish, I have nothing against that. It's your fish tank. Do what makes you happy.
I did want them at one point in time, but I was like, man, that light would kill my eyes every time I would. And that's why I really couldn't do saltwater with the expensive lighting. Is because my eyes are really, um, they're bad,
Sensitive.
and I'm old.
Are you sensitive? You're old.
I'm not sensitive.
Wait,
I'm not
wait.
sensitive.
Let's
I'm
not
getting old.
talk about
I'm getting
old.
old. I ate all my carrots like my doctor said, and I'm still blind. So, uh, needless to say, I got a new doctor.
Yeah.
But you know, I can't see the light all the time, and I just couldn't be able to stare at that tank all the time like that. So, I,
Well, see, luckily it's your choice and you don't have to do it. So there
true.
you go. All right, we're
Number
bringing up
10. Wrapping it
Rob,
up with
is
number
there
10.
stuff written down on the bottom? Can you take down the bar? I'm wondering if it's
Oh,
blocking
snap.
some
I'm
of what
sorry. I
I'm
forgot.
wondering if
Sorry.
that's blocking some of what people are able to see on the screen.
Sorry, guys and
I
gals.
didn't think about it. I didn't think about it, but
All right, y'all. Number 10 to wrap it up. The People Fair.
okay. I don't really have an opinion on these guys. I've never kept them.
Oh, I have.
I know people love them. I
Oh,
feel, from what I, read and gathered, they're kind of the same thing where, I think they're very small, so they have small mouths,
yes.
but I still think you'd want to be a little bit careful what you keep them with.
Mhm.
And they're a puffer, so they're going to have all of those traits as
Characteristics.
far,
Mhm.
yeah. So, I think you need to keep that in mind. I don't know how tough they are on the water parameters, but you
Mhm.
go because you said you've kept them.
I, I'm gonna be biased. I love them.
Hmm?
I'm gonna say yes on as far as intermediate to even experience. It could be any person that say that the water's not right or whatever.
Hmm.
For real, you have to have an established tank pretty much for any fish. It doesn't matter if it's a testing fish. You're trying to get the cycle through it. Every fish needs to have good water quality for it to live. So in a sense, I would love it, and mine lasted as long as it did because of me just upkeeping. Like you said, very small fish. It is gonna need a heater. It's not gonna be the cold water fish like a lot of people think. Um,
Did
other
you
than that,
find that
the
they took
feeding,
specific food? Did they take live food?
I was just about to say the feeding,
Okay.
on the other hand, would be
Yeah.
like I said, the problem with new fish keepers because they think automatically flake food. I've never seen
Yeah.
pea puffers eat flake food, in my opinion. Mine didn't. I even tried for an experience. Maybe some people in the chat have or that are watching this replay
Yeah.
have seen, pea puffers eat flake foods or eat other pellets or whatever, nibble at pellets. Never seen that. But
Okay.
bloodworms and, brine shrimp, things of that nature, live
Okay.
foods or frozen foods in a
Yeah.
sense for those who
So they're a little tougher to keep because they do have some specific food requirements. Not so much
and
that
they can be
they have
aggressive. And
water.
here's the thing: they can be aggressive as a small fish.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
that's what I figured. I'm like, they're puffer. They're just teeny, so they must have all those, as you said, characteristics and traits. Hello,
most people
Kristen.
say about 10 to 20 gallons is a safe 10 to
Okay.
20 gallons per pea puffer.
Yeah.
So that's
But
a whole
so
tank just to one little itty bitty. They need a wide range of just themselves and breaking
okay.
point.
So, but if we're going with what we would say is a beginner fish, yeah, I would have to say no.
No.
Even though I've not personally kept them, just from what I've read and what and what other people say, yeah, and mostly, even if it's just their food requirements, a beginner is not going to be dealing with hatching out brine shrimp and
On a daily.
growing worms. They're just not
Right.
going. Most beginners are not going to want to do that in the first month.
Or even know
Um,
what black worms or
it's
anything of
weird
that
together.
nature.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
I think, like you said, no on the beginner side,
yeah.
intermediate going into, been doing it for
Yeah.
a while. Even then, you still got to do trial and error. That's in every, time of fish keeping. And I mean, just the aggression alone, you got to understand that you may not be able to get a group
Right.
of them like you think. You may only be able to get one.
Yeah. Because they'll fight
Uh,
themselves. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was pretty. This was a solid list. I can't hate the list because
No.
it's in an opinion. This is what people have put
And we
together.
all have them. Yes,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
But we're here just to discuss it.
Yeah.
To amongst us who are in the chat as well. I'm sorry I can't see y'all because I'm on
Yeah, I
work.
mean, we're just giving our opinions on it, but DeFreeze Aquatics, Rob, hello. Um, Yeah, you know, we're just finding something to talk about.
I think that was the fun. Like it was really, really fun. What did I
Yeah.
do, Miss Lori? What did I do, Miss Lori? What did I do? Yes. Did I do something wrong?
No. She's saying hello to
Oh,
Dupree.
Rob. Oh, there is another Rob.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you didn't do.
Rob.
She's not giving you the Rob like, oh please, come on,
Oh,
Rob.
okay. I thought okay. I thought it was like move it along, Rob. Like, come on.
No,
Let's
she's saying
go.
hello.
Okay, sorry. But then
Hello.
follow up with definitely not a beginner fish.
Now, some
Okay.
people are saying that they have had really good luck with flakes and
Okay.
food. So,
Okay.
I guess it, just depends on the fish. And I mean, but it's that way for us with everything. Sometimes people get fish doing something that nobody else can get them to do. So, that's why we all talk and share,
Rob
our
just said
experiences.
his ate the Vibra bites, which are like the dry the
Yeah, those little worm
dehydrated
like,
ones. Yeah.
yeah.
And
That,
then they ate it once and never again.
yeah.
That
Yeah,
that
because they were hoping it was a real worm.
they were they're like, what's going on with it? But
Right.
not only that though, with beginners, I can say if they have a snail problem in another tank,
That's true.
that's
Yeah.
automatic food. You don't have to worry about ever really feeding them anymore. You
Right.
just throw a whole bunch of snails in there and boom. And whenever you start to see the, snail population go away, now you got to start, throwing some more in there. You really will never have to probably feed them,
Well,
So,
I mean, that's a good point. If you've got an ongoing snail problem, if you get a problem with those, little pond snails, it's like
mhm.
perfect. Yeah.
And if they're still in the same way that they used to when they first came into the hobby, they're all wild caught, so they're going to be more, ready to survive if you throw stuff in there and you won't have to really worry about them. And you're
Well,
like I
they're
said,
ready.
the tank is good. So,
Yeah, they're ready to survive, and they'll accept all those natural foods, live
mhm.
foods. But that's where it gets tricky with the wild caught fish getting them to
Mhm.
eat the prepared foods.
And that's why I
So
think
you
mine did.
need to be prepared to
Mhm.
feed them.
Yeah, and may have stingy fish. I think that's for any fish. You may have stingy fish. I mean, I've never not had a
Hmm.
stingy fish not eat anything. I mean, um, my fish would spit it out, and I'm like, dang it, I just cleaned your tank, and you don't like that food? That is horrible. Melifix or the not Melifix. What was it? What was the little tuba fix? The little things that were cubes, and they're like
Oh,
dehydrated.
tube
There
effects worm.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go. I'm thinking medicine. And
yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
tube effects worm. Yeah.
none of my fish ate that. That was the
No,
most dirtiest food in the world.
yeah, the problem with those little freeze-dried blocks hold so many worms that
So,
once they get in and start, if you put a whole cube in a tank, either you gotta have something the size of an Oscar to eat it, or once it, like you said, once it opens up, it's everywhere, and it does. Those are kind of messy. I think some people, to get away from that, you put it in a cup or something, soften it up, slosh it around, then tweezer out the worms, and it's not as messy, and then you can be more
yeah.
specific how much they get. But I haven't fed those in years.
I will never use them again. That
Yeah.
was the worst experience of my life when I
Yeah.
came back into the room because I thought they were like Sarah nib tabs. I thought they were like that. And
Oh,
I tried to
well,
stick them to the
yeah.
glass, and they did a little bit. And then when I came back in, all of my tanks were like brown, and I was just like,
Hmm. They can, be messy. That's not something I really. It's not a food I recommend to people.
okay.
It was really big like 20 years ago. Everybody's had tubifex worms, but it was,
Really?
kind of like what you said. It's messy, and then if the bigger fish take the whole cube, they're taking in this dry cube that's going in, and I think it can give them, problems with bloat and swim bladder problems because it's literally freeze dried chunk of food, you know.
Yeah.
So
And I think that's what every dry food they have. They say to at least kind of put a little bit of water in there before you add it to the tank, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that, well, I think, yeah, most of them do use that as a recommendation. I don't think many people follow it.
I mean, a lot of people don't know that you can get a warranty on your tank. Some people don't know that, and it's true. Some people don't. So like, I read every kind of instruction I can. If I know it's a food, but you can still see what to do if you're not really sure on what's going on in the fish food. So even if you're looking at the ingredients, you're still going to skim what's going on with
Right.
directions.
But I mean, how many people truly read the directions on a food? Maria Munoz, hello and welcome.
This guy.
Do you read the directions on food? I mean, when I get goldfish pellets, truthfully, I don't read the directions.
Yeah, like the one that I got in there says feed up to 2 times, 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Small little increments. If they don't like it, don't feed it again.
Mm.
Didn't say that, but that's what I feel like. If it's not eating it, just
Yeah.
don't feed it more. Don't put that in your description.
I just buy my food and use my own discretion and feed it however I feel like feeding it.
Yep,
That's me.
that is true. But like you said, it was popular at one point in time, and then people just started to shy away. And I think that's a lot. A lot of new fish foods are coming in. See, like OSHA, is it Nutritia, OSHA Nutritia, or something like that? There's another one that came out, and then like a lot of people stopped buying it for some reason, or I don't know what it was.
Well, I think, what you find with a lot of these foods that people get turned off on are they really cloud up your tank. And I mean, there's, for instance, let's say there's 15 kinds of brands of flake food, which there's more than that, but let's just say there's 15. And, certain companies are better than others, and that flake will hold together a little bit longer and give the fish time to get it. But there are brands that you put them in, and kind of like the Tubifex worms, they literally just start dissolving, and you can see them clouding your water almost the minute they touch it. The flakes touch the water, and so it's kind of trial and error. And when I get something like that, I just chuck it.
Yeah,
it's not
worth giving it to anyone. Yeah, it's not worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's better quality foods, and I feel like, a food that you put in the water and doesn't, gives you a little bit of time for the fish to eat it and doesn't start that clouding process.
And breaking
I'll
down.
be happy with that one. I'll be happy with that food,
Yeah. Hikari has been working on that. They have food that doesn't break down.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of Hikari, so.
Yeah, I feed some of their foods as well.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, there's, I like the fact that, and see this, when you're talking about feeding bottom feeders, you get some pellets or sticks or whatever, some sink and some float. And depending upon what you're feeding, that's an important feature, getting the food at the level you need it at for what you're feeding.
Yeah. I think that was the worst mistake ever. I think I came across Hikari and I never turned back. Like I never wanted to switch over. There was that one time I did have the Tetra color flakes and the granules, and then my fish, like they just turned off. Like they were like, "We don't like this no more."
Yeah, we don't want it.
We don't want this no more.
But I mean, we're like that with food. You get on something, you eat it, 3 times a week, or you eat it every day, or whatever. And you're just loving this. And 2 months later, you're like, I don't want that anymore.
And I think that's what it is. I think that's what it was. I was like, hold on, you guys went crazy for this not too long ago. What's going on?
Right.
I'll get a couple fish here and there go up, and I'm like, none of y'all are sick. What's going on?
Well, see, now in the horse world, we'd say that they're off their feed.
They're off the feed.
Off their feed. Yep.
Oh, wow.
They just all of a sudden, don't want it. Not eating. So.
And you can never lead a horse to drink water.
That's right. You can lead them to water, but you can't make them drink. That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't make them eat either. And as you said, you can't make fish eat. I mean, you can't really make anything eat. So you have to give them something that sparks their interest, whether it's live or just a really good prepared food.
I think that's the double-edged sword with the double-edged sword with actually starting with fish. You never know what they're going to eat. You never know. And then you're sitting here buying fish food after fish food after fish food. Now you got 30 cans of fish food, and you're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all this fish food.
was I was moving some boxes around the other day, and I came across this box that I'd put in the dining room, and I'm like, what is in that box? And I opened it up, and it is literally like 4 cans of pellets and bags and bags and bags of pelleted food, probably like 10 bags. And I'm thinking, so next time I think I need food, I need to rethink this, because I have like boxes in the basement too. I need to stop buying fish food. I just need to stop. I have plenty, but I keep thinking I'm low.
Yeah.
And then I'll buy like 10 things, but I'm not low.
You only see a vision of what you have physically right in front of you.
Yep. I'm guilty of that. I look at it, getting low, and I'll get on the computer. And then I realized I did that probably about 3 months ago when I ordered that box of food, Yeah. Hi, Skipper. How are you?
Yeah, I think that's I've been a victim of doing that with Prime, where I'm like, oh, this bottle's gone, so I'm gonna go buy another liter, and then lo and behold, I have a liter over here, and I'm like, well, at least I got Prime. That can't go bad.
Right. I have a problem. Yeah, I have a problem buying fish food, and there's something else. I got on this kick of buying lights.
Just lights? I was on heaters. I was on heaters.
Oh, like aquarium lights, like 30, the ones for 29 gallons and whatever. Every time I turned around, I kept thinking, I need to get some lights. And I was looking in the garage the other day and then downstairs, and I'm like, I must have like a dozen lights. It's like, I don't know what I'm thinking. I just get all wound up and start ordering. Oh God, I need some of those,
Anybody
get those
in the chat guilty of anything we are talking about as far as lights, Prime, rocks? I know any landscape or any aquascaping or landscaping that you're going around grabbing is going in your tank, so that's free. But
but the ones I'm buying for my sister are not free.
That's true.
And I have a lot of those rocks. I have a rock buying problem.
So that's true too. I mean, you can't say that you don't have a problem when you're consistently buying stuff. So.
I buy a lot of rocks. So yeah.
Oh, do we say plants lately? What plants we getting here? Because I'm in the same boat here. I'm not doing too well as far as aquarium plants, because I can't keep aquarium plant to save my life. Like if someone was like, Rob, if you don't keep this guppy grass alive, you're gone.
Yeah.
I
don't personally keep a lot of live plants. First off, I have a lot of goldfish, so there aren't a lot of plants that really work with them well. Yeah. Anubis works well, and some swords, but I usually just keep Anubis in with them. But I have a moss ball problem.
Moss ball.
I must have 150 moss balls if I have one. And I was doing something the other day, and I was like, I think I'm just going to make this tub over here a moss ball tub. And I took the smaller tub, and I started grabbing moss balls from all these places, and I filled the tub, and I have more that I want to put in there. So I think I'm going to have to move to the large tub.
I wanted to do an all moss ball tank.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm just going to do this tank with just all these moss balls. Because I really like them, and I know people hate them.
Does people really hate moss balls? Yeah. Does anyone in the chat hate moss balls?
You're going to find out a lot of people hate moss balls.
Bueller?
But I love them.
I like them too.
But I pretty much just keep Anubias, moss balls, and then like, what else do I have? Not really much. I go through spells where I have all these, or a few planted tanks, and they look great. And then I'm like, I'm tired of that. And I just go back to moss balls. Yes.
Mine, I have had one for 4 years, and that thing has not grown.
Oh, I had one. I ended up breaking it apart because it just wasn't working. But next time I get one this size, I'm going to do a video on it. It was probably almost the size of a cantaloupe. I mean, huge. And it was in, you're going to die. it was in a 2.5 gallon tank, and it grew to the point where it was at the top of the water, and I
No
was like,
way.
I should have filmed it. I don't know why I did. I think I thought everybody, because there's so many people that hate them, that I'd get a lot of flack for it. So I'm like, I guess I won't show that. I should have.
Ricky,
It's
if you're
pretty
driving
impressive.
in the East Coast or anywhere near the storm, be safe out there. Anyone that are in the East
Yeah,
Coast or in the Midwest, be safe. We are getting some bad
yeah.
weather. I'm actually off work
Hi,
tomorrow. They
Ricky.
canceled us. They canceled us
Really?
from work.
We're
Yeah, it
supposed to
got
get
bad.
another. We're supposed to get another storm this Friday, and we just had almost 19 inches. We had a nor'easter. We had a bad storm.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
getting here now. It's hailing right now or
That.
sleeting.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it's gonna get worse, worse, and worse. I was racing to get home because they said it was gonna happen at 6, and it did. So,
Lori, thank you
we're
for
out
putting
there.
my sister's
What's up?
website in there. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
there
just
you go.
thanking Lori for putting my sister's website in. Thank you.
Oh,
Sorry I
awesome.
interrupted you.
Dang, Miss Lori got everything up in. I
Oh,
swear.
Lori. Yeah, she's on it. She's on it. Hi, Pierre.
What up, boo? Appreciate it.
But yeah, the weather, there's been a lot of bad weather everywhere. And so, yes,
Got
everyone.
20 inches Saturday. That sounds like a party.
Well, but it's the drifting that's nuts. I mean,
Yeah.
I opened the garage door because I needed to feed the horses, and lots of times I can still get down around and get back up during a storm. I opened the garage door and I looked out and I was like, yeah, I'm not driving down there. So I put on my boots and sweatshirt and hat and whatever, and I went out to start to walk to the barn. And I ended up having to turn around and take a different route and down over the trees. By the time I got close to the barn, I was crotch deep in snow, just waiting to feed my horses. I'm like, you guys better
Larry,
this.
you'll get this. You'll get this in a minute. So everything I get, he gets because he's in Ohio. So it's coming straight
Oh, okay.
through. So
Yeah.
you're getting the front storm of what we're getting too. So you'll get this soon. So like you said, Friday. We're the start of Thursday, so it's supposed to start Thursday and end Friday night. So I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
see, we're supposed to get it right. So it's coming. It's
yeah,
coming.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's on its way. We're just letting you know. I'm gonna let you know how bad it is, y'all.
Okay.
Oh, Melvin, I like the new logo.
Hi, Melvin.
What up, man?
That is pretty. Yes, that is
I
pretty.
like it.
Melvin.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
Like that.
All right, Miss Joey. We're going on 54 minutes. I can't believe it. We're going to end a little early because it sounds like it's getting real out there and I got to get some food in my belly. So, Miss Joey.
Yeah. And we didn't even have a lot of jokes tonight.
No.
We were very serious tonight, I thought.
Short fish and short rob.
Yeah, short fish and short rob. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for coming in. I hope you had fun tonight. I mean, Rob and I had fun. It's hard to measure whether you're having fun, but you're here, so we're assuming you're having fun with us if you're staying here. So anyway, thanks again for coming in. Don't forget, smash the like button.
Woo! Thank you, Miss Joey. Thank you.
Thank you.
For those who are watching this replay, I hope y'all had fun. I mean, it was fun to do that little list and talk about fish food. I think we actually talked about fish all night.
So unusual.
It's like, that's a nasty taste in my mouth. Like, we talked about fish. Ew. Ew. But for those who are watching this replay, thank y'all so much. I'm glad y'all are here at the end. We did have fun. I hope you did. For those who are in the chat, thank y'all so much for taking a little bit of time that y'all had throughout the busy schedule of your day to be here. For those who are in this weather, please be safe out there. Stay indoors if you have to. For those who need to go out to work, just be very, very careful. Give yourself some time and some stoppage. Much love. We will love to see y'all here next week. So make sure y'all stay safe so we can. Much love.
And Lori says Papa Shrimp is streaming next. So everybody.
Yep. And Papa Shrimp is right after us at 8. So I'm going to give y'all a little decompressed time before then the transaction into there. So appreciate it, y'all. Be kind, be courteous. Have a good one, y'all.
Bye.